What is good, YouTube gang? Welcome back to episode 3 of V-Talks. Today, I am going to be talking about a character that I made for a game that was a roleplay game. It was a Marvel-based roleplay game, and it's just called Marvel Superheroes, I'm pretty sure. Something like that. It's just a role-playing game. But this character is the character that I made for that game. His name is Ultima X, also known as Isaac Van Mod, which is his not hero name. He is an android that was created by a artificial intelligence called Little Sister. That has its own background in the game, but Little Sister was pretty much made and it evolved into being a higher level sentient AI pretty much, and then it decided to go off and make something, and Ultima X, which is my character, is the thing it decided to make. So he's technically only 2 years old in game at the moment. He's got all sorts of powers. Let me pull up his stat list and I'll read off to you guys really what he can do. So I guess to start off, I'll read off like this chart. There's a chart pretty much for this game that everything is based off of. So starting off, you've got shift 0. If you've got shift 0 of anything, you're pretty much dead. Like you're a corpse if you got shift 0 of anything, really. Feeble is, super weak. Like feeble is you can lift like a pound or something if you have feeble strength, that sort of thing. Then it goes to poor, typical, good, excellent. And like good is like getting up there to be like what exceptional people are good at. Typical is a human thing. So shift 0, feeble, poor, typical, good, excellent, remarkable, incredible, amazing, monstrous, unearthly, shift X, Y, Z, and then you get into the class 1000s and up. The class 1000s and up, I'm not even going to go into because that's so far off the game chart that I hope I never deal with anything up there. That would be like death. So Ultima X, all of his stats aren't underneath incredible. Now, incredible is, to put it in perspective, I guess, and to make this more comprehensible, his agility is incredible, his endurance is incredible, his intuition and his psyche are incredible. Now, if you think about the best humans in the world just being like a human being, the most mentally fortified type of guys, they would have excellent or remarkable at best. Excellent is pretty much like the peak of humanity. Remarkable is where you're getting into like being an actual superhero. So everything that Ultima X has is incredible, which is one step above remarkable. So he's got some crazy stuff for sure. His strength is amazing, his fighting is amazing, and his reason is beyond that. His strength being amazing, that means he can bench 72 tons. That's a crazy amount. That's up there. 72 tons. I mean, yeah, that's a freaking lot. So that just puts in perspective how high all of his abilities are when they are up in that range, as far as his fighting, his agility, his strength, his endurance, his reason, intuition, and psyche. His reason, that's pretty much in the game how smart you are. So he is essentially the 7th smartest guy in the world. And all of this stuff I ended up rolling. It's not like I made this character to be super overpowered because I want a strong character. It's just you end up rolling dice, and 1 out of 100 you get to see what you roll. So I just rolled pretty decent for his abilities. Now his powers, on the other hand, are negligible at best. They're almost complete garbage. So he's got sonic generation of good. So that means he can make loud sounds with his hands. That's cool, but whatever. Disintegration of good. So he can disintegrate wood. Ooh, One of his better skills is his light emission, which is remarkable. Now that's him being able to shoot lasers out of his eyes. Like that's what remarkable light control is, or light emission rather. He does have light control as well, but that's only good. So he can bend light a little bit or make things a little darker, a little lighter, but it's not a vast amount. He's got reflection, and that is when somebody shoots at you with a bullet, things will kind of guide around your body, and so he's got a little bit of that. It's nice, but it's not crazy. He's got some armor skin, which is good. So, I mean, if you tried to stab him with a knife, it might not go through, but if you shot him, it would. And he's got hyper running, which is probably his best ability, which is at amazing. That means he can run 130 miles an hour, which is, you know, that's insane. That's a real superpower there. So you combine the hyper running with being able to bench 72 tons, and you got some sort of crazy bulldozer right there. And that is, for the most part, what he can do as a character, and I haven't even gotten into the sort of stuff he has done. That's just his abilities. Now I will kind of talk about some of the stuff he has done. I'll go over my actual favorite encounter that I've had in the game. So Ultima X was with a couple of other heroes, a hero named Dr. Cinders, who could control fire and use mental powers, and another hero named Captain Laser. I know it's pretty corny, but that's just the player. He just really liked that, and I think Captain Laser is pretty cool. And so we went to this base that was up in, I want to say, Wyoming or something like that. It was just an abandoned place. We go in there, and I have to hack into the mainframe of this computer so we can gain access to this base that has been long abandoned, or so we think. So we go in there, we travel down and check out some places, and it does seem pretty empty for the most part, but we do eventually come into this hallway, and there's one robot just standing there, and we're like, what the heck? And then he comes out, and he has like a number 4 on his head, and it's an Ultron. You know, Ultron's my favorite villain, and David, the DM, just threw that in there because he knew I liked Ultron a lot. So Ultron comes out, and he says, you're not supposed to be here. So we have to fight Ultron. Oh, dang. So we're fighting Ultron, and it comes out that he's like as strong as I am, because I go to punch him, and he grabs my hand, and he's like forcing my hand down with the same amount of force, and I'm like, oh crap, this is gonna be hard. And it took a lot of us working together. It wasn't just Captain Laser and Dr. Cinders, it was also Cupid and another person who was a mage. So we had like a full team stocked up, really, and it took a lot of work to get this one Ultron down. And by the time we killed him, Dr. Cinders is like, okay, we got that done. Goes up to the door, opens it up. There's like 3 more Ultrons in there, and she's like, wrong room, and then closes it. And so we, next game, had to fight all of those Ultrons, and then there were more. By the end of that entire area, we had to fight an Ultron that was made of adamantium like armor. That's pretty much like what Wolverine's skeleton is. It's almost indestructible pretty much, and we had a hard time fighting that, but we were able to defeat him. And one of the Ultrons had a sword that came out of his arm that was adamantium. We defeated that Ultron, and that's where Ultima X got his sword from. So his sword is actually an adamantium sword that came from an Ultron arm. It's actually been pretty cool with how the game has played out, in my opinion. Right now, what I'm drawing, this scene in particular, is Ultima X is in a gladiator arena, and he's fighting a Asgardian executioner. If anybody's keeping up on Marvel, they would know what the Asgards are. It's pretty much like one of Thor's people. So he's fighting this guy to the death, and we left off on that game like half a year ago, so I've still been waiting to play that encounter. But this is the scene from that is his battle to the death with this Asgardian executioner who is pretty tough. The first time Ultima X ran across that guy, he got wrecked, and the second time he fought the guy, he barely won. So this is the third time he's fighting him, and it will be the last. So I'll let you guys know down the road how that ends up going. And that's about all I've really got for this video. I've got, probably 50 to 100 stories with this character running around doing things, but we are reaching the end of the video. Here is the final product. Let me know what you guys think. If there's any characters that you guys would like to see me do, just get in contact with me and let me know what you guys would like to see, and I would be happy to draw it. So like and subscribe. Go to my Instagram on Lord Ventilus and Jagon Fantas, and I will see you guys on the next episode of V Talks. See you around.